Hi everybody, welcome back to our fifth and final video of the Initial Education video series. Congratulations, you've made it to the final video. I'm Emily, your diabetes educator for the day, and let's get started. So I will get my PowerPoint pulled up, and here we go. So this is video 5 of our Initial Education series. This video is about resources and additional information. Now, this might sound a little dry, but I promise it's important stuff for you to learn. Okay, so first things first, how to contact our clinic. Listed on the screen here is our diabetes clinic phone number. So that is 651-220-6624. This is an all-encompassing number that you will dial during business hours as well as in the evenings and weekends if you are in need of assistance. Now, during business hours, there will be a series of prompts, and listed on the screen are what those prompts currently are. So the variety that we have here, we have option 0, which is our address and fax number. Now, little caveat here, the address listed is our St. Paul clinic address. So if you are following up at one of our satellite clinics, such as Maple Grove, Minnetonka, Woodbury, or Minneapolis, you'll just want to go to childrensmn.org and go to the locations tab for those addresses. Option 1 is for doctor-to-doctor calls, so not what you're choosing. Option 2 is for clinic appointments. Option 3 is for telehealth or virtual visit appointments. And then option 4 is going to be our most used option. Option 4 is for the diabetes clinic. This is then going to lead you to a subset of menu options. And option 1 for this is prior authorizations. This has to do with your insurance, and your pharmacy will let you know if you need to call us regarding a prior authorization. Option 2 is for the diabetes educator office. This is the option you're going to be using 95% of the time. On this option, you can reach out regarding blood sugar reviews, any questions or concerns you may have, prescription questions, school questions. Really, this is where you're going to direct most of your concerns. These voicemails are checked hourly during business hours, so we do our best to get back to you within the same day, but for sure we'll get back to you within the next 1 to 2 business days. If you are leaving us a voicemail on this line, please spell your child's name and leave their birth date. That way we can adequately find their chart and assess the situation. Alrighty, then option 3 is our urgent line for illness and ketones. The urgent line is going to bring you to a live operator to help you work through the ketone management aspect of diabetes. So if you are at home ill with ketones, feeling concerned, or needing help with the math, please choose this option so we can assist you further. Another reason you would choose the urgent line would be if you've had several lows in the same day. So, let's say you were low after breakfast and then low after lunch and then low again this afternoon, and you just can't get that blood sugar to stay above 80 consistently. That's another reason to call us. If it is severe hypoglycemia, you're using glucagon, don't call us right away. Give glucagon, call 911, and then call us later and leave a voicemail another day. But if you're just having repeat lows that day and you need some assistance, you can certainly use the urgent line for that reason. Now, back to the main menu, option 5 does lead you to the endocrinology clinic. And this option is actually something you may use occasionally. So if you also have thyroid disease or another endocrine condition in addition to diabetes, any questions regarding that other condition will be left at the endocrinology clinic option. Overall, though, you are most often going to be choosing option 4 for the diabetes clinic and then option 2 for the diabetes educators. Another great way to contact us is through MyChildren's. MyChildren's is our online portal that gives you access to your child's medical records at home. You can also message your care team. You can look at lab results. You can look at appointments, lots of different things that you can do through MyChildren's. So we do highly recommend that you set up a MyChildren's account. When you were admitted after your new diagnosis of diabetes, you should have received an initial invitation to set up a MyChildren's account in your email. If you did not receive that invitation or you can't locate it, just let us know. Give us a call at the previous slide's phone number and leave a voicemail with the educators letting us know you would like to set up MyChildren's, and we will reach out to you and help you get that set up. Once you do get an invitation to your email though, what you want to do is open up that email and it's going to look like what you're seeing here on the screen. So what you're going to do is you're going to click the link where it says click here. My mouse is pointing to it. You will click here and then begin building your profile. Just takes like 30 seconds to create, but then once you have created that account, make sure you write down that login information. You need to know your username and password to access this account, and it is not stored anywhere on Children's side. So I cannot access it. If you reach out to me asking what your login is, I don't know. So please write down your login information so that you can use it again in the future. Once you've set up your MyChildren's account, you can access it both through a web browser or through a mobile app. So if you are accessing it on your web browser, so on a computer, what you want to do is go to childrensmn.org, click MyChildren's Login at the top, and then you will select the red Sign In Here button to log into your account. From there, it's going to bring you to a web page very similar to what you're seeing on the screen. And you can see on this left-hand side of the screen, that's where it's listing your different options. So you can look at your appointments, you can look at your messages, your medical records, ton of stuff in there. So just play around, see what's out there, and then in the future, you can find information more easily. If you're having any issues getting your account set up, you can go back to that main MyChildren's page by going to childrensmn.org, selecting MyChildren's Login. If you scroll down, it is going to give you different instructional downloads that you can use, and it's also going to give you the help desk line for MyChildren's accounts. So if you're having any difficulty, definitely go onto the web page, see if there's any troubleshooting that it's telling you there that can help you, and if you need to, call the help desk to get that account set up. If you're wanting to use a mobile app with your MyChildren's account, there are two different apps that are out there. The first one is the Children's Minnesota app. This is on the left-hand side of my screen here, and this app right now is only compatible with Apple devices. So if you have an Apple device and you are wanting to use the MyChildren's app, what you'll be doing is going into your App Store and searching Children's MN. You're going to download the one that has the blue square and white star. And then when you open that app, it's just going to give you these options that are going to direct you to the Children's website. So if you're wanting to log into MyChildren's, you'll open up that app. You'll choose Login to MyChildren's. That's going to bring you to that login page, and you will select the red Sign In Here button. The other app that you can use is called healow. That's on the right side of my screen here. And the healow app is really a fantastic option for most smart devices. So it is compatible both with Apple and Android. So if you want to use a mobile app and you want to use healow, go into your Play Store or App Store, search healow, and you're going to download the one with the logo that shows right up here on the side. When you open that app, you are going to need to enter in the patient's name and date of birth. So this needs to be your child or yourself if you're the patient. It's whoever's medical record we are linking to. The next page is going to have you enter in our practice code. This practice code ensures that you're linking with Children's Minnesota. So our practice code is listed here on the screen, and it is in all caps. It is GCGDBA. If you want to set up the app right now, just press pause on your screen. Feel free to download, get all this set up, and then resume at your own convenience. After you have linked with our practice, then you're good to go. You're logged into the app. In the future, you just need to open the app, and then it will give you the different options to log into MyChildren's, to access your messages, all of those things. Little side note on that, in healow, when you open it up, if it does ask you for login information, it is your MyChildren's login. It's not a separate healow login. You use your MyChildren's login information. Alrighty, so if you are a MyChildren's user and you are wanting to message your care team, got a couple tips and tricks for you. So the first is if you are sending a message to our team, we ask that you send the message to the name of the provider that your child last saw. You can access that name, especially if you don't know how to spell it, by logging into MyChildren's and looking at your appointment history. Look at that name, write it down so you can spell it, and then you'll enter that into the search bar in your to spot when you are starting a new message. When you send it to that provider, it's going to get sent over to our diabetes education team, and we will take a look at it and get back to you as soon as we can. If you don't feel like searching for that provider name, another option is to send it to the diabetes endo educators. If you're wanting to do that, same thing. You just have to type in diabetes endo educators into the to field, and that should populate, and you can send the message to us. Now, once you've started sending and receiving messages, you may have the option to reply to messages. Please do not reply to a message unless we are directly asking you to reply. If you are wanting to send another message and you just don't really feel like initiating a new message, don't reply to an old one. It's going to get really sent off to a weird place and it's going to be hard to track. So please just start a new message appropriately titled for your new concern or question. That leads me to the next thing. In your message, please title your message with your concerns. We know it's your child that you're calling about or that you're messaging in about, so no need to put any identifying information in the message title. And then in your message, let us know what your concerns and questions are and how best to get back to you. If you have any forms or documents you want us to be looking at, please do attach those. You'll attach them just as you do to emails, where you click the little paperclip icon and then attach your document. MyChildren's messages can be sent at any time, any day, and we will get back to you within 1 to 3 business days. So please be patient. We will get back to you. Alrighty, so let's talk about preparing for our appointments. After this new diagnosis of diabetes, we have those frequent follow-ups. So we need to know what we need to do in order to make sure those appointments go smoothly and that we are prepared for them. So the big thing at these appointments are we will be reviewing your blood sugar data to determine if any dose changes need to be made. To do that, we need to access your blood sugar data. The best way to do that is by using an app called Glooko, which I'm going to get into in a couple of slides here. But really the big thing is no matter how you're sharing your data with us, you need to ensure that it has been shared 24 hours in advance. If you have an application that you're using and it's live sharing with us, great. If you don't, please either screenshot logbooks or take photos of logbooks, attach those to a MyChildren's message, and send it in at least 24 hours prior to your appointment. If you are coming to an appointment in the clinic and you have these apps on your phone that are set up to share with our clinic, that's fantastic, but please also bring your meters with you just in case there's some sort of technical glitch or we need to look at something else on your meter. Please bring it with you so that we have that physically available to look at as well. For your appointments, you also want to bring a written list of your questions and concerns. A lot of questions arise when we're at home and we think we're going to remember them, but the minute that we sit down in that chair and the provider walks in, they just fly out of our brain. So you'll want to get those written down so that we can really make sure that we're addressing all of your concerns and questions. It's also a great idea to write down any blood sugar trends you've noticed. Has your child been going low at gym every day, or have they always been needing a correction after breakfast? These trends are really helpful for you to identify because we can help teach you how to make dose changes at home, and that also helps us just make those dose changes with you at your visit. If you have made dose changes at home, write those down as well. That way, when we are reviewing your blood sugar data, we can associate when those dose changes happened and see if they made an impact on your blood sugars. That way we can further make more dose changes, and it just gives us really great information. For your appointments, we also would like you to bring any forms that you need completed or signed. This could be work forms, FMLA, it could be a driver's form, it could be a camp form, but please just look forward, see what forms you may need to have filled out before your next appointment, and then bring those forms with you to your appointment or send them in through MyChildren's the day before your virtual appointment. When you're bringing forms or submitting them through MyChildren's, please ensure that you have completed your part of the paperwork. All paperwork is going to be needed to be completed by you in some way, whether it be filling out your child's name and date of birth and you signing it or something more than that. So please make sure that you've done your part of it because we do need yours to be completed before we can physically sign off on it. If your appointment is a virtual visit, you will be receiving your virtual visit appointment link 1 to 2 days prior to your appointment, and it will be sent through a MyChildren's message. So if you do have a virtual visit coming up, make sure that 1 to 2 days prior, you are logging into your MyChildren's account to access that appointment link and make sure you've received it. You can then practice with it, make sure that your technology is working and all of that jazz as well. But just know that appointment comes to you 1 to 2 days, business days in advance. The last thing is for both our virtual and our in-clinic appointments, we ask that you arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. This gives us time to get you checked in. If there are any forms that our clinic needs completed, those can be completed. And if you have any devices that need to be downloaded, we have time to do so. So please arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. Now, virtual visits, how do they happen? So virtual visits, as I said, you do need that MyChildren's account set up because you'll be receiving instructions and your appointment link through a MyChildren's message. Now, to get your device set up for a virtual visit, what you're going to want to do is go to our website, childrensmn.org. You're going to click virtual care at the top. And then if you scroll down, you can sort by specialty and you'll choose endocrinology and diabetes. This is going to bring you to a more specific page about what's needed for our virtual visits, but it will give you a bunch of different tutorials, different troubleshooting to ensure that your virtual visit goes smoothly. We do ask also that you complete a test call 1 to 2 days prior to your appointment, and this can be accessed as well on that virtual care webpage. There will be a spot where it says click here to perform a test call, and it just ensures that your device is set up appropriately for the microphone and the camera and everything to complete that visit successfully. And then the little reminder too for these virtual visits, we still want you to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early so that if there are any technical difficulties, they can be fixed before your appointment start time. Alrighty, so on to sharing our blood glucose data. So most of the meters that are out on the market today are compatible with a mobile app called Glooko. And the little image of the app is right up here. So to be able to see your glucose data from our clinic, what's really neat is you can connect your meter via Bluetooth to this Glooko app, and then it can share with our clinic so that we can see the glucose data remotely. So to do that, what we need to do is download this app to your smart device. So just search Glooko Track Diabetes app in your Play Store or App Store, get that downloaded. And then the really important thing, when you're creating the account, please have it be in your child's name or the patient's name. Whoever's glucose data it is, have the account be in their name so that we know who it belongs to. After you've created your account, you'll want to set up sharing with our clinic. To do that, you're going to go into your menu, click Profile, click Personal, click ProConnect, and then you're going to input our children's diabetes ProConnect code, which is all lowercase CHCMN. So that is listed here on the screen in bold. And again, if you're doing this right now, press pause on the screen, enter the code, and then you'll be set to go. Once you are sharing with our clinic, you are going to want to add your child's devices to the app. So to do that, if you're on an Apple device, you're going to click Sync, New Device, Blood Glucose Meters. Then you will choose the brand and version of meter you're using and follow the prompts on screen to pair your device. If you're using a Droid, then you're going to click Menu, Profile, Devices, My Devices, Sync, Add Device. Then you'll be choosing that brand and version of meter you're using. So a lot of clicks to add a new device, but the great thing is once it's added and you're good. So a little bit of setup up front, but then you're going to have smooth sailing going forward. A little note about how this app works. Your meter communicates with the app through Bluetooth. So in order for your blood sugar data to get into the app, your Bluetooth has to be on your smart device. If you do not typically keep your Bluetooth on, what you want to do is 24 hours prior to your appointment, turn that Bluetooth on, check a blood sugar right then, and keep the meter next to your phone. That'll get the meter to bring that blood sugar over to your phone and backfill the missing data from the last time you connected. So just make sure you're doing that at least 24 hours in advance. That way we can see that glucose data at your appointment. In Glooko, a really nice feature is that you can also track your carb intake and insulin doses. You can do this just by clicking the plus sign on the screen, and then you'll be choosing what you're adding to your logbook. This is incredibly helpful information for us as your healthcare providers because we can identify specifically when insulin was administered and how the blood sugar was affected afterwards. This really helps us identify what dose changes need to be made. So if you are able to, we would love for you to also be tracking the carb intake and insulin dosing that you are administering. If not, I understand it's a lot of work, but the basics, please, please, please connect your meter and allow sharing with our clinic. It's going to make your appointments run so much more smoothly to have that live sharing in the background. Okay, if you are using a one-touch meter, it works. The one-touch meters, they work with Glooko, sort of, but you still have to download this other app and then you have to enable sharing between them. And it's kind of this backdoor complicated process. So instead, we just have you download this One Touch Reveal app and enable sharing within that app to our clinic. So what you want to do is download the One Touch Reveal app, create an account in your child or patient in the person's name whose blood glucose data you're sharing, sync your meter, and then enter our practice code, which is in all caps, BTZVSY. And again, that is listed on the screen here in bold. So you can go ahead and just pause the video and get this set up right now if you'd like to. One Touch app also works the same, where it's Bluetooth that is pairing that meter to your app. So Bluetooth does need to be on to enable that data transfer from your meter to the app. So same tip, if your Bluetooth is off, just make sure at least 24 hours in advance you turn it on, check the blood sugar, and allow it to backfill that data. Okay, moving on, school. So when we head back to school, our school health office needs to receive a diabetes medical management plan that is signed off by your diabetes clinic. We call these school orders. It's a lot easier to say than your diabetes medical management plan. But so school orders do need to be written and signed by your provider. The way that we do this is school orders get written up electronically and they get posted to your MyChildren's account. From there, you can either print them and bring them into your school, or you can save them as a document on your phone or computer and attach them in an email to your school. But either way, those orders do need to make it to your school health office. These orders give the school permission to administer insulin, and since it's a prescription drug, they need those orders from a medical provider. So please, if you are heading back to school, let us know so that we can write those school orders up and get them posted to your MyChildren's account. In addition to this, before you head back to school, we do want you to sit down with your healthcare provider at school, with your health office, and just talk about what the plan is for diabetes cares at school. Who's going to be in charge of assisting your child? Make sure that there's at least 2 to 3 people trained, because someone's going to get sick at some point during the year. So 2 to 3 adults we want trained in diabetes cares. What are the communication plans between you and school? Is the school nurse supposed to be sending you blood sugars every day after school? Do you need to submit anything to them? When do they call you? Those are all personal preferences and something to discuss with your school nurse to determine what the plan is. You also want to talk about upcoming events outside of school. What's the plan for field trips? What's the plan for after school activities or sports? What do we do for birthday parties? How about fire drills? Who's in charge of keeping my diabetes supplies? These are all other things to be discussed so that when they come up, we're ready for them. Instead of having to figure it out last minute, it's just always best to talk about it ahead of time. The other thing for school is for older kids. If your child is in a timed testing scenario, this is usually into high school that this is happening, you may also want to complete and submit a 504 plan or an individualized health plan or IHP. These two plans kind of further clarify different accommodations that are made for somebody with diabetes. So this is beyond your insulin doses, it's more behavioral based. So kind of the big thing that people will put into their 504 plan is in regards to low blood sugars and timed testing. So people will put into their 504 that if you're taking a timed test and you have a low blood sugar, that timer gets stopped while you treat that low and recover from it. Then the timer resumes once you've recovered. That way you're not losing any testing time, and you're also not expected to be testing while your brain doesn't have enough sugar to function. So that's something that people will put into their 504 plans. Again, it's something just to discuss with your healthcare team at school to determine if that is needed. Alrighty, so some external resources that you can access at home for more information about diabetes and various things. The first one is the American Diabetes Association, or the ADA. The ADA is our gold standard of diabetes info. It's what we base our clinic practices on. So if you are wanting to see the most up-to-date information on, XYZ topics or research information, head to their website at diabetes.org, and there's a ton to look at. The ADA also has excellent tools for school. So if you're wanting to look at a template for a 504 plan, or you're having any sort of issues with school, go to diabetes.org and just search school on the website. And it's going to bring you to a ton of different resources to help you through whatever is happening. The ADA also has a bunch of different events throughout the year, and they do offer a camp during the summer that is only for children with diabetes. So this camp is called Camp Needlepoint. It is super fun. Highly recommend going to camp. You are just surrounded by like 250 other people that are going through the same thing as you, and it is just so wonderful to meet other people with the same disease as you. So highly recommend looking into that if you're of age, and you can find more information at their website there. JDRF is the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. This is another really great resource for different articles and current research, but what they really specialize in is social networking and connections. So they do have their own social networking site called Type 1 Nation, and you can just head to their website, jdrf.org, and one of the first options at the top is Type 1 Nation, where you can register and make an account. They also have really fun events and different things happening throughout the year. So I recommend going to their website, clicking the calendar, and seeing what's coming up around you. They also have really good support groups. So if you're looking to meet other families going through a similar thing as you, definitely head to their website and seek out some support groups around you. The last thing, well, they offer a lot of things. The last thing I'm going to mention is the Bag of Hope. So for people who are newly diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, they can receive a backpack filled with different resources and supplies for diabetes from JDRF. So you can go to this website here and register in as a newly diagnosed family, and you'll get your little swag bag in the mail, which is really fun. Last thing on this page is social media sites. So if you are looking for different blogs or, I don't know, anything else social media related, these are 4 different sites that we recommend you head to because they do their research. They're not just posting, anything. They're making sure that it is backed up with research and all of that. So we do recommend you go to these sites if you're looking for more social media locations. Couple of resources here at Children's. We have a support group ourselves called Diabetes Connect. It is offered on the second Tuesday of the month during school months. And if you are interested in that, you just let one of the educators know or let your provider know at an upcoming appointment, and we will get you connected. Our Child Life staff are the ones who run this support group, and it's really, really neat. People really enjoy it. You meet other people with diabetes, you kind of break out into groups of your own age, and it's just such a great way to meet other people. We also offer school visits by our Child Life staff. So if you have a child who is, in elementary school or middle school, and you want their classroom to learn more about diabetes and have to explain to them in their, age language, our Child Life staff are the ones to do it. So just let us know if you're interested. You can let your provider know, send us a MyChildren's message, give us a call, whatever you want to do, and we can get you connected with our Child Life staff to set that educational experience up. Camp Sweet Life is another camp that's offered in the summer for kids with diabetes, and it is the camp that we partner with here at Children's Minnesota. So we like it, but feel free to go to the website campsweetlife.org to learn more. Last thing on this page is our Journey to Home videos. So if you are wanting to access those videos that you've watched in the hospital that teach you all about those survival skills of how to check a blood sugar, how to administer insulin, those videos are accessible on our website at home. These are great options for babysitters, grandparents, aunts and uncles, people that you want to know the basics. It's a great option for them to watch those videos at home, so you can find them by heading to this website here, listed on the screen. A couple classes that are offered here at Children's. The first one is Pump 101. Pump 101 is about insulin pump therapy, and it is required in order to order and start an insulin pump. And in case you don't know anything about pumps, that's okay. You're new to the diabetes world, but it is just a different way of administering insulin. But again, you do need to take this class first, and you do need a provider approval to attend that class. So if you are interested in insulin pump therapy, please discuss this with your provider at your next appointment, and then they will talk through with you to see if this is a great option for you or not. The other thing available is more education about continuous glucose monitoring, or CGM therapy. We also call it sensors, whatever works for you. But a CGM is a device that is measuring your blood glucose value every couple of minutes so that you're getting real-time blood sugar data. There is a video on our resources page. So where you located this video, if you scroll up or down, not sure which way, but there will be a video called Pump and Sensor Options. That video, the first 30 minutes, talks about sensor therapy, and it talks about the different brands of sensors that are on the market right now. I highly suggest, if you are interested in CGM therapy, to watch that video, watch the CGM portion, and then whatever sensor you're interested in, you can just let us know and we'll order it for you. There's no provider approval that you need to order a sensor. That's totally up to you. So just reach out, MyChildren's voicemail at your appointment, however, and let us know which sensor you are interested in pursuing. Alrighty, so for your prescriptions, so after diagnosis, you were discharged home with kind of your diabetes basics supplies, and your supplies are only going to last you a couple of days. So we did send your prescriptions with 1 year of refills to your preferred pharmacy. This is the pharmacy that you identified in the hospital as where you would like your prescriptions filled. If you have not filled these prescriptions yet or picked them up, please do so as soon as you can, because you'll be surprised at how quickly you run through those supplies that you brought home with you. So please go pick them up, and when you do pick them up, make sure you put that insulin in the fridge. When you start running low on any of your items, you will call the pharmacy directly to request refills. Never wait until the day you run out to request your refill, because they might need to order a product in, there might be some delay. We don't ever want to fully run out of any of our supplies, especially our insulin. So always think ahead, always try to reorder early to ensure that you never run out of a supply. My rule of thumb for myself is, if I have a supply that comes with multiple containers, so for example, test strips. For a month supply of test strips, I usually get 4 vials. When I open that 4th and last vial, I know I have about a week left, so that's when I'm going to call and refill my test strips. Whatever works for you, you can write it on your calendar, but just try to refill early if you can. We will also be talking more about this at your upcoming appointments and give you some more tips and tricks on how to work with your pharmacy. Alrighty, a couple last things to talk about. Medical ID. It is really important for all people of all ages to wear medical ID when they are an insulin user. So there are a bunch of different ones out there. You can get one that fits your personality and your lifestyle. You can get beaded and sparkly ones. You can get a sports band. You can get one that slides onto your watch band, necklaces. I mean, there is just unlimited options, but make sure you get something. Listed on the screen are some really popular brands that people like. So Lauren's Hope, Sticky J, Road ID, American Medical ID, and then on Amazon, you can purchase a whole variety of different medical IDs, but please get one. It's really important for your safety that you always wear medical ID. If you are a driver, you do need to report insulin use to the DMV within 30 days of your diagnosis. You also need to get a form filled out by your provider saying that you're safe to drive while using insulin. So if you are of driving age, just let us know at your next appointment that, I'm a driver. And so we can help you get that form filled out and show you how to submit that to the DMV. Last little tidbit here is about vision changes. So after a new diagnosis of diabetes, or whenever we start insulin therapy, our blood sugar levels are changing a fair amount from where they've been for the past many weeks or months. With these big changes in our blood sugar levels, that can impact our vision. It's changing the fluid level in our eyes, and so you can get some blurry vision during this time. This is normal. Don't want you to be alarmed. It should resolve in about 4 to 6 weeks. If it has not resolved in 4 to 6 weeks, then you'll want to reach out to your primary care provider or an optometrist if you have one and have them evaluate your eyes. Just please wait at least the 4 to 6 weeks to see if it resolves on its own. Alrighty guys, well that is it. This concludes our 5th and final video of initial education. Thank you for sticking it out with me. It's been a pleasure to share this journey with you. And after this class, we do have a couple more steps for you to complete if you didn't do it as we went. So the big things, number 1, pick up your prescriptions. Make sure you put your insulin in the fridge. Number 2, set up your MyChildren's account if you have not already done so, and either bookmark that web page on your computer so you can find that login place easily, or download one of the apps. Number 3, download the Glooko app or the OneTouch app if you're a OneTouch user. Download it, create an account, sync your meter, and share with our clinic, please. And last but not least, if you are doing virtual visits in the future, please visit that virtual care tab on our webpage and complete the download instructions, any pre-instructions that need to be done, and do a test run prior to your visit to ensure a smooth visit. Alrighty, well, thank you everybody for sticking it out with me. Welcome to the diabetes community. We are here to help you. So please let us know if there's anything that we can be doing to further assist you, and we look forward to navigating this journey with diabetes. Thanks so much for joining, guys. Have a great rest of your day.